Step on a crack, break your mama's back.
Break on the crack, break another gag.
Yeah. Dude, that works.
I was... Welcome to the show. So, language is pretty crucial to humankind.
I speak every day. Yeah.
Yeah. As is writing. Passed down culture.
Yeah.
Passed down
Books,
culture.
stories,
Yeah, just everything.
family history.
Everything, very important. Writing, it's how we communicate in
Yeah.
our day-to-day.
You can write with your left
How
or
we
right
understand
hand.
things. Yeah. Yes, indeed you can. Now,
Some people write with their mouth.
one way of communicating, a lesser known by the majority of the populace, would be Braille.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
what are you laughing about? That's
That's
a true fact right there.
Yeah. That's how some people communicate who need
do
it.
you think that there's ever any do you think that there's any Braille that reads, or that if when you touch it, it reads, "Do not touch this"?
Well, there'd have to be.
But then it just
It
destroys
does.
the whole point.
It does. But there'd have to be.
It's like
Because, if there was in front of, an artifact in a museum,
just
Right?
on the artifact,
Yeah.
do not touch.
I feel like it would
They're
be in
just like-
front. I feel like let's think of the practicality, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit of a weird situation because you have to touch it to know not to touch it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the text that would say "Do not touch this" would be like a foot in front of, like on a little sign, the thing that you're not supposed to touch.
Right. But how are they supposed to find that little pedestal if
Fenced off.
it's fenced off?
Fenced
sure.
off the other stuff. So
So
like
is
you're
the
walking into
Braille on the
ropes and
fence?
then you walk into the fence thing.
Man, what'd be cool? We should develop a rope that is Braille.
Yeah.
Like so if
No,
you
I'm
follow
not
it from
sure-
the beginning, you can just read a story as
Oh,
you
that's
walk
cool.
along the rope.
That's actually, you could have that now.
You know what I'm talking about?
You could have an exhibit for that. I think.
That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be pretty
actually.
cool. We're patenting it. House
Although,
husband's patent.
It might not be able to be a rope because the rope would be kind of confusing because it would twist and stuff. So maybe like a ribbon.
A ribbon?
Like
But the
a-
ribbon can twist.
A ribbon. Oh. Like
We'll figure it out, man.
yeah, it has to be just something flat.
A buoy.
A boot. What?
Okay, but think about this. And I'm not sure if we've discussed this on the
buoy.
show because we've talked about literature and fine arts and quotes and things like that. Is Braille one language, or is there like a different Braille for each country?
That's for each language, you mean?
Yeah,
That's a good question. I actually
because there are
don't
different
know.
types of sign language. Because there's
Are
the
there?
ASL for like the American Sign Language,
Oh
but
my
there's also
God.
like the Chinese Sign Language.
Oh my god. That's too much.
And, well, who knows? So maybe it's not. Maybe I have it completely wrong. Maybe it's like the Mandarin Sign
It'd
Language
be-
and then the Cantonese Sign Language.
It'd be so nice, man. No, actually, it wouldn't be nice. I was about to say, man, wouldn't it be just so nice if we all just conformed to the same? But then I realized, no, that's
So
actually
other
bad.
languages are actually pretty cool.
Actually,
yeah.
other cultures and stuff is pretty cool.
But I think what
so
would be cool is if we all understood other
it'd be
languages.
really handy.
You know
if
what
we
though?
all
We've
knew.
talked a lot about random superpowers. The most practical superpower that I would love is not even to be able to speak every other language, but to be able to understand every other language.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because I'll learn how to speak it. Because if I can understand it, I could probably or figure it out.
probably figure it out.
But because I could watch just like cartoons from like Saudi Arabia, like they gotta be pretty fun. You know what I mean? I gotta watch like a soap opera from Belarus.
Man, I think that's one of the issues is the disconnect between the language, because I've heard, like, we have a German exchange student lives at my parents' house.
Yeah,
and I've heard jokes that like he tells me, and I'm like, that
That's not
was
funny.
not funny at all. And it's like I'm just because there's like it's like a wordplay thing that just doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate.
It doesn't. It does not work. And so, like, I feel like that's across all languages.
Yeah, well, it's like
so it'd be
there's
difficult.
like there's like jokes. Like if you think of puns and stuff, it's like sometimes the whole thing is like they use the different type of bear.
Yeah, and it's just like
So it's like that Family Guy bit where it's like, they're talking about the Second Amendment. They were like the right to bear arms, and
Just to
like
bear
they're
arms.
like, yeah, it's a right to have a pair of bear arms and hang them in your house. Arms of a bear, right?
obviously,
Like that.
That's
would
funny.
just not translate.
but nobody would get it in any other language. And so, and so what I was saying was like it'd be kind of nice if we could all understand that.
yeah,
So what you want is Pentecost.
Pentecost.
Yeah, when all the spirit the Holy Spirit
Oh no,
came
that's when you
down and
speak tongues.
yeah, but also understand, right?
Dude,
Or is it just one way?
I thought you just spoke in tongues.
Man,
Because when you go to those Pentecostal
the
churches,
point?
like you remember that scene in Borat when he went to the Pentecostal church,
oh.
and they were all just like, and they were like feeling the they were just
Yes.
yelling. They weren't translating, like they were just speaking in the tongues.
Man, what's the friggin' point?
Well, because you felt the Holy Spirit in it.
It's like, oh, no, wait. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why?
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you mean you feel the whole? That does not translate.
What's
ever.
the letter in the alphabet next to Y? It's Z, right?
Z
Yeah.
or X, well, depending on which way you look.
Y and Z. Well, come on. Chronological. QRSTUV WX Y and Z.
Yes.
And
Our
that's
American
right.
listeners are getting
It's Z.
are getting really heated right now.
Z.
They're like Z.
Z, yeah.
Yeah, well,
and that
ZZ
song by Rush,
Top.
that song by Rush is YYZ, not YYZ.
No. YYZ.
It's Z. Okay. End of discussion. Led
Think about it.
Zeppelin.
Zebra.
Led
Led Zebra. Led Zeppelin.
What?
Zeppelin. Z.
Zeppelin.
It doesn't make a Z sound. It makes a
Led-
Z.
Led Zeppelin.
Z. Not Z. 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 Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I forget what I was gonna say. No, a new bit. This is just a new bit for like walking around. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
alright.
throw it out here. See, we'll put in a poll. We'll see if the people like it. We'll leave it as the end of the episode here.
Okay.
What if when people say why, you just go Z?
Wow.
Like they're like, why did you do that? Well, Z.
Why'd you do that? Zed, you do that?
Yeah. Or just like when they say why, just cut them off. Like, why do you Z?
Man, that's like the equivalent of the cow joke.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if anyone knows what that is.
Moss cow. Like that joke? Where it's like
No.
a mossy cow?
The interrupting cow.
Oh.
Moo.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Yeah,
Oh!
yep. That's
Yeah.
there. It is.
Yeah. I wonder what Mike thinks about that one.
Man, why do we?
Okay,
bring it back.
Mike
Bring it
has to.
back.
We have to bring him back on episode 50. Okay.
We'll bring him back on episode 50.
On episode 50.
For
we're
real?
yeah.
It'll be an entire episode. No, I'm not gonna promise that.
Did you listen to the show?
I just listened to the show.
Because you just listened to the show. If you're this far away. And if you like listening to the show. And if you like listening to the show, then look at our other stuff. We released a short on YouTube. Everybody's liking it so far. Give it a like.
Listen, give it a like.
And we're putting up the podcasts
Listen.
on there, so you can listen there if it's better. You can also listen on Spotify. Hopefully, Apple Podcasts is coming up soon. We're working with that. So keep listening and keep your ear to the ground.
Thank you for using your ears.